Hello, and welcome everybody to the Kick Push Pull KPP Transformational Life Podcast. And I am your lovely host, CEO Creator Summer D. Richardson. Look, y'all are going to hear me say this every single episode. Yes. Every guest that is on here, I feel such a privilege to have them on here. I'm so excited to have this young man on today's episode. Listen, he's going to help us get our life together when it comes to finances. So if this particular episode is entitled, Help, My Finances Are in Shambles, okay? Help, My Finances Are in Shambles. Look, I don't care what your ethnicity is, what your socioeconomic status is, your cultural background, your educational level, or your political affiliation. If there's one thing I can say, one thing that we all can agree upon is that we absolutely have to have and need money to survive, period. Man, most of us, myself included, okay, have either had a very complicated, I would even go as far as to say love-hate relationship when it comes to money. You know, if you're part of Generation X, which I am, woo. Anyway, especially in the African American household, oftentimes when the subject of money came up, you heard this little phrase, and yeah, you guessed it right. Money don't grow on trees. And let me tell y'all, they said it just like that, like it was a song. I'm not sure why it came with music, but it was always, money don't grow on trees. Well, listen, money can be a very, weird or uncomfortable sometimes conversation if you let it. I think the goal as it relates to money should be, how can we obtain financial freedom? I'll say that one again. I believe the goal when it comes to money should be how we can obtain financial freedom. Now, did you observe my disposition and how my body relaxed when I actually said the words financial freedom? Exactly. Listen, if you haven't accomplished that yet, you haven't got to that place, it's okay. Don't be discouraged. There is help at the end of the tunnel. The goal of financial freedom is the ability to have options. I'll say that again. The goal of financial freedom is the ability to have options. Financial freedom equals options. You get into a place where financial options are the best place that you could possibly put yourself in. Just think about it for a second. Having financial options helps to alleviate the stress levels that most of us go through, especially when we have to make decisions like life-changing, significant, altering decisions that involve finances. Take, for example, your big-ticketed items. So let's say, you had a recent car accident and you end up totaling out your car. And you haven't had to pay a car note like in the last 3 to 5 years. So now here it is. Not only do you have to find a new car, but you have to make sure that you're actually set up and ready to pay a monthly car note that you haven't had to worry about in the last 3 to 5 years. Let's think about, you got to move, or you're looking for a new home, or the kids need tuition. And I'm not talking just about college tuition. I'm talking about daycare, private school, the list goes on and on and on. Well, most of the time what we often say is, oh my God, this couldn't happen in a more inconvenient time. Well, the timing isn't the issue. The real problem is the fact that we lack the funds, the access, and the resources to be able to handle the situation. If you had the funds and the resources and the money, then you wouldn't have to worry about when the event occurred. You could actually take your time to make a real sound decision without having that stress of, can I financially handle this? Can my family financially handle this? So, doesn't that sound a whole lot better? Okay. So, on today's episode, I'm so excited to introduce my special guest. He is here to discuss finances, and what better time to do that than when we're still dealing with the aftermath and regrouping from the pandemic. Many people have lost so many things along with family members and loved ones. They might have lost spouses, which maybe you had a two household income, and now with the loss of your spouse, you're only down to one and you're not sure what you can do. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe you lost your entrepreneur business that was bringing in additional income. So it's, we're still kind of navigating what to do and how to get back on our feet, or how to, maintain what we have. So my brother, Mark Robinson Jr.
All right. How you doing, son?
Welcome to the KPP Transformational Life podcast. I'm so excited to have him here. He is a young brother whose background is in economics. He attended Mizzou. Shout out to Mizzou.
MIZ.
Oh, Lord. He has been a part of the, in the financial marketing area since 2011. And he is here today to pretty much help us kind of navigate, provide any kind of advice that he would give, best practices, definitions for some things that maybe we don't understand in the area of finances. Mr. Robinson, welcome.
All right. How you doing, son?
I'm
glad
good.
to be here. I always like to talk about things like this. And usually, when I'm at home, I'll start speaking with my mom. I just get the spitball, and I can go for hours talking about money.
Yes, you can. And trust me, guys, he's not just here to help you all. He's here to help me. There's often times that he is fussing at me about, okay, Summer, sis, what are you doing? What are you spending that money on? Do you really need that extra pair of shoes or something else?
That's true.
What does your savings account look like? What does your checking account look like? What are your goals? So trust me, he's here not just to help me, but he's here to help you all as well.
That's true. And one thing you did say, me personally, I don't have a love-hate relationship with money.
Okay. Well,
I love money.
Oh, God. We all love money.
My grandfather used to always say, money may not buy happiness, but it makes everything all right.
I like that. Shout out to Grandpa. I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Another phrase he used to always, man with all the money has all the sense.
Oh, my God. Say that one more time.
Man with all the money, he has all the sense.
Oh, my God. And that's actually some truth to that comment. It's kind of scary, but it's some truth to that comment.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us, let's talk about savings. Let's start off fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, based upon, statistics that we go, one thing that's actually kind of frightening is that 70% of Americans don't even have $1,000 in their savings account.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
70% of Americans do not have $1,000 in their savings accounts for small emergencies.
Oh my God. Wow.
So that's pretty much saying that 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, literally. Paycheck comes in, paycheck goes out, next 2 weeks or weekly, however they get paid, continuously in and out, in and out.
Oh, wow. Oh, God. Okay. And that is some truth to that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have probably really experienced that during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
During that time frame, they realized how much, what was, like you said, the checks that were coming in and coming out. And if they didn't have any checks coming in and coming out and no savings, my God.
Yeah. It was hard. 2020 was it was a rough year for a lot of people financially, but like you said, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to be able to get there. It takes a little bit of discipline. It takes a lot of discipline.
Okay.
Fixing bad habits that people have, but it's not impossible. Hard to do, but not impossible. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Discipline. I like that.
Discipline.
Yeah. So what else you got for us?
I mean, we could talk about that. I'm a little synopsis on the state of the economy, what's going on now, what to look forward in probably next 4 or 5 years. Maybe the next 7 years. Things I like to deal with things in cycles, business cycles.
Okay.
A business cycle is every 7 years. So everything that I try to do financially, anything, I base it on those 7 years of a cycle.
Okay. So planning out things should be 7-year cycles.
Well, you don't necessarily have to, but, since me personally, that's how I do it. But, you always want to look ahead at least a year out, 6 months to a year out.
Okay.
If you take today, well, what's it going to look like 6 months from now?
Okay. So somebody's starting off fresh, baby steps, 6 months to a year.
6 months
Start
to
planning
a year.
6 months to a year. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, speaking of that, there are some couple of things we can go through on how to save money. A couple of gurus out there that people should pay attention to. We can go over that as well. I mean,
let's
we can
talk about that.
Anything that you want to.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Some of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, first things first, like you said, $1,000. Okay. Here's why that's very important. Why you need at least $1,000 in your saving. So, like you were talking about, small emergencies. Things happen. Your tire gets a flat. One tire is $200. God, it's going just like that.
That's true. That's true.
And if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you already got that money accounted for. Boom. Tire goes out. That's $200 gone down that you can't use that to pay a bill.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you know, that's things like that. You miss a paycheck. I mean, you miss one paycheck. You you're on a bi-weekly schedule. You miss one paycheck where, you know, you can't work, something happens. You're essentially in debt. Just like that in from 2 weeks.
One paycheck.
One paycheck.
Can put you in debt. Wow. Okay.
And like I say, and 70% of Americans have that problem. I mean, that's almost would be considered an economic pandemic, so to speak.
Economic pandemic. That
Economic
70% of Americans don't have $1,000 in their savings.
Absolutely.
So do you have like advice of how to go? You know, most people be like, I don't have enough to even save, you know, anything from my check, especially if I'm living paycheck to paycheck, like you mentioned. So how will we go about saving? Well,
there's so many things that you can do. I mean, but like I say, if you just plan it out, so to speak, $40 a paycheck. Let's say you get paid every 2 weeks.
Okay, every 2 weeks.
26 paychecks in a year.
26 paychecks in a year, right?
$40, you put that in the savings. And at the end of the year, you got $1,040 saved up. Just on $40.
$40.
Yeah, that's maybe, okay, I don't go out to eat this paycheck. Instead of go out and, you know, get you a steak or whatever. Put it in the savings account.
No Starbucks that week.
Or no Starbucks. Things like that.
No drinks that weekend. Hanging out with the fellas or hanging out with the ladies or, you know, date night, maybe sacrifice.
Absolutely. And these are some of the things that I did. You know, even though I kind of was taught this early on in my life, you know, about discipline, you know. My grandfather, rest in peace, you know, taught me a lot of these things. So yeah, you know, but, you know, and like I say, it's just that small, you know, if you look at $40 over a year equals to $1,000. So when people say you can't afford it, you technically can. Yes, you know, technically you can afford it. You just got to add a little bit of discipline to try.
Discipline. Okay. $40. That's not bad at all. You can definitely sacrifice that, you know.
So yeah, so one thing I want to talk about is there's a guru named Dave Ramsey.
That's a name that most of us have heard about. Yeah.
Dave Ramsey changed my life. Dave Ramsey, he's actually changed millions of people's life.
That's true. That's true.
Dave Ramsey was in debt. So, you know, probably didn't have $1,000 saved in his checking account like most 70% of the Americans.
Right.
And he just, one day it just clicked on him and he said, today it starts. I need to change my life to get out of debt and be financially free. Because being financially free is just the pressure of that debt. I mean, you know, that pressure leads to stress. Stress leads to illnesses. Illnesses lead to, you know, unfortunately, death.
It does. It does. Even breakdowns in relationships. You know, a lot of relationships, they talk about finances with a lot of
most of your divorces, I mean, you know, are caused by you know, financial problems and things like that. So
for sure. So Dave Ramsey, he had like different programs set up, right? Are you familiar? Anything that you?
Yeah, it's one that I've done myself. It's his 7-step program. I think every American should look at that. I mean, it gets you in the door, and what it does is that it's a process. And it takes discipline. But when you achieve it, I mean, it's just like a light goes off and you can see it, and money is easy. And then you start to respect money. You start to respect what you do with your money.
Oh, speak on that. Respect money. I like that. Respect money.
Because when you're working, you know, people don't really realize that that's time. That's time on your life to get paid. You know, like, you know, here's another saying, you know, your job doesn't like you. Your job owes you. That's why they pay you. But you got to put your time on your life to get that income. And then when you take that time and then you just blow your money on anything that you can't even account for it.
That's true. Yeah.
And that means it'll pretty much be all for nothing. So that means you got to respect the money.
That's good. Respect the money.
Because when you respect money, you treat it well.
Just like a person in a relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like that. I like that concept.
Now, that's another topic.
Oh, God. Yeah. Let's not even go there yet.
You know,
that'll be another episode. You'll see him on another one, y'all.
Maybe so.
Maybe. So let's go further with Dave Ramsey.
So, you know, okay. Now, So he's got this. It's called a 7-step program. He calls it the baby steps, and it's 7 steps that'll help you become financially free.
Okay, 7 steps. Okay.
Step 1, you want to save $1,000 in an emergency fund. That's the first thing you want to do.
Okay. So, question: is the emergency fund separate than the savings account? $1,000 saving, or is it the same?
It's the same.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, because one thing that you got $1,000. That's a small emergency fund. Mm-hmm. But then you want a bigger emergency funds for, let's say, a rainy day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing about rainy days, it's guaranteed to rain.
Right.
When you check the weather, one of these days it's going to rain.
That's true.
So that's how you can use your rainy day fund. Yeah, you got it put aside, but you know it's going to rain.
That's true.
So long as you got it, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Now, step 2 is called pay off all your debt with the debt snowball. The snowball method. And I'm going to go a little bit in detail about that one.
Yeah, so give us a little bit of that snowball method. Okay.
But I think that's the best part. That's where saving gets fun, when you start to understand the debt snowball method. Okay. And I think that's one of the genius things that Dave Ramsey came up with and ran with. And that's why people are really adhering to it and why it works. Okay. And we'll go over that. Okay. Step 3, the 3 to 6 months of your expenses and savings. Okay. So now that's your rainy day fund. Okay. So, if you got 3 to 6 months of savings, something happens, you lose your job, something like that. Now you got 6 months of savings for that rainy day. So 3 to 6 months expenses and savings. Okay. Yeah. So what expenses? Okay. Meaning your regular bills. Let's break bills. That down. Okay. Your rent or your mortgage, utilities, gas, food, everything that you spend consistently in a month span. Okay. Those are your expenses. Okay. Credit cards, things like that, those are debts. Oh, like your student loans, stuff like that? Those are debts. Those aren't your expenses. Those are your debts. And it's a difference. Okay. Yeah. You pay them on a monthly, but those are considered debts and not expenses. You don't need your student loans to live. But you do have to pay that money off. That's what is called a debt. Mm-hmm. You need Ameren to survive. Right, we do. Spire, Ameren, Charter, you need those. We need the MSD, all these folks, right? Yeah. Now, step 4 is invest 15% of your income into Roth IRAs and pre-tax retirement plans. Now, I don't want to get too in depth with those things, but what he's doing is that he's building up the foundation. The first 3, those are the foundations you need to build a financial home. Okay. Build a financial home. I like that idea. And that's where I'm going to focus on, those top 3. Okay. The first 3. Step 5 is your college fund. If you got kids, you're going to have to set up a fund to get them through college. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Step 6, pay your home off early if you own a home. That would be another thing. And then step 7, build your wealth and then give. It's all about philanthropy at the end of the day. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, yeah. So, absolutely. Let's start with that step 1. Because, like I said, I'm going to give more detail about those first 3. Okay. Okay, sounds good. We're ready. All right. The emergency fund. Yes. $1,000. Shouldn't take that long. Now, I know I said, over 26 checks, you can save $1,000 and, $1,040. Okay. Now, in this day and age, it shouldn't take long to save up $1,000. Okay. You should be able to do that in 30 days. 30 days. 30 days. Okay. If you got to go work somewhere real quick, sell something, anything, 30 days, you need to get that $1,000 saved up. Okay. Okay. No matter how, whatever you got to do. Well, I'm not going to eat, ramen noodles for the next 30 days. That's all you eat. Do what you got to do to save that $1,000 in step 1. Gotcha. Look in your own home and see what things maybe you can sell, right? I mean, clothes, shoes that we don't wear. We think we're going to get back into. All of that. Guys, some of them Jordans and all that other stuff. And our ladies that love Jordans too, Jan Warman forever. Easy can make their money back. You got a closet full of Jordans and shoes. Go on StockX. Red bottoms, everything. Go on Depop. Sell it. Yeah, I got you. I know. That $1,000. It's hard, y'all. I know. It's hard. Yeah. Yeah. You got to sell it. Yeah. You got to get that $1,000. That's the first things first, because what it does is that it eliminates those small emergencies.
That's true.
Your tire pop, well, you got the $1,000.
Right.
Now you have to worry about, I got to wait till my paycheck to get it. Mm-hmm. You got your $1,000.
Or borrow money from somebody else or a family member that you're like, oh, God, it's going to be.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We all know that saying.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So, yeah. Now, step 2, you're going to pay off all your debt with the snowball method. Okay. Now, let's go into detail about that. Now, this doesn't include your home. You don't want to pay your home off in this part. Okay.
So not the home.
As you remember, that was step 6 in the baby step program. Okay. So step 2, first thing you want to do is list all your expenses, utilities, food, gas, cell phone. Make a list.
Would this also maybe include like prescription medication for individuals that have different diseases going on and they need to take care of themselves? Yep. Okay.
Everything that you need to live and advance from day to day, those are your expenses.
Okay. Okay.
So you'll get a list of those, and once you get the list, then you'll know how much you actually paying on a month basis. Okay. So when you got that list, now you're going to take all your debts, excluding your mortgage if you own a home. Okay.
Okay.
You list all your debts out. Now this is student loans, credit cards, personal loans.
Yeah.
Car loans.
Was it like the payday loans?
Payday loans.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Car loans. Any type of loans. You owe your cousin $1,000.
Cousin, auntie, uncle.
That's a debt as well.
It is.
Yeah. So you take that and you list those out. Now, what you want to do is that you list them from smallest to largest.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Smallest to largest.
Smallest to largest.
Okay.
And then you pay all your expenses. Okay? Now, if you got credit cards and student loans, you're still going to pay those minimum balances on those. So if you got a credit card and you owe $75 a month or whatever, however much your student loans are, if they take $50 a month, you pay the minimum balances on those.
Okay.
Now, the money that's left over from your expenses, and once you paid everything, you take that money and you pay it on the smallest debt that you have. So if you got a debt, let's say you got a credit card and it's got $2,000 balance. Okay?
Yeah.
After you've paid all of your bills, expenses, the minimum payments on your debts, you got $1,000 saved, right?
Okay.
Left over, I'll say that.
Left over.
Yeah, got $1,000 left over. You take that $1,000, you pay it on that credit card.
That whole $1,000.
The whole $1,000.
Wow.
Put it on that credit card.
Okay.
Okay? Now, you forget, this step 2. You already got your $1,000 saved.
Yes, that's true. Okay.
So that's why you want to do that first and as fast as you can.
Okay.
Because this is where the snowball method kicks in.
Okay.
Okay? So now, let's say that credit card, you pay $1,000. Next month, pay another $1,000.
On that credit card.
It's gone.
It's gone. You're right. Zero. It is gone. That's that $2,000 gone already.
$2,000 gone, plus whatever that monthly
he was already.
Yeah,
okay.
If it was $50. Right? Okay. Now, the next debt, you do the same thing for the second one now. Let's say that's $5,000. You do the same thing. Boom. Another month. And it's like a snowball.
Okay.
When you were a kid in the snow, you take a small little block. And you just roll it, add more and more snow onto it.
Right.
Till it blows up. Now you got a snowman.
Right. Okay.
And that's the snowball method. And you do this by each and every one of your debts until it's gone.
Okay.
Now, it'll depend on how much your debt you have.
Yeah.
It can take a while.
Okay.
Could take 3 years. Could take more.
Could take 5.
Could take 5. Could even take less, depending on your debt. But you want to do it because you want to be debt free.
That's real. That's real. Absolutely.
You want to be debt free.
And I actually really do like that idea because you're still paying at least the minimum on those other debts that you have. So it's not that it's not like, I'm taking all of my money and putting it on this one credit card or this one loan and then I'm not paying anybody else.
Yeah.
No, you're doing what you need to by paying them at least the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And so they won't send you those, letters in the mail, you behind and
you're paying everything.
And sending, extra interest, all of that late fees that keep adding up. Oh my God, the late fees are ridiculous.
Right. What you're doing is that you're sacrificing going out partying and splurging all your extra money that you got after you paid your bills.
That's true.
You're taking that money and you're attacking your debt.
Yeah,
and
attacking.
And you're really attacking it. Because like I say, boom, in 2 months you paid off a $2,000 credit card.
That's true. Yeah, that's been lingering probably for the last 3 years or something ridiculous.
Paying minimum payments on it.
Yeah, $25. Like,
boom, because if you just pay $50 on it for each month, that'll take pretty much 2 years just to pay it off. 50, 50, 50.
Wow.
I mean, if you take $50 times 12 is $650.
Oh wow, yeah.
600. I'm sorry, 600.
Okay,
600.
Wow. Okay.
But it could be $650 if you add the interest. So
yeah, that part.
So, yeah,
for sure. Okay.
This is why you attack that. Yeah, it's got to be disciplined because you're not having that fun that you want.
Right.
You're not going out kicking it. You're doing things like that.
But the sacrifice will be worth it in the end. The
sacrifice is worth it.
You may be debt free within 3 years, and then you have the free money to do what you need. You know, other things that you need to do and take care of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yep. Okay. Snowball effect. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in that example, think about a person who started doing this in 2017, and then 3 years from now, 2020 comes up. Hey, well, if they done paid off all their debts, hey, the pandemic ain't as bad as it was on them financially as it would have hit another person.
That's true. That's true.
This is why it's so important.
Okay.
To be debt free. Especially on things like this, on debt that doesn't make you money.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, that's another topic that we can go talk about as far as debt. But debt that doesn't make you money, that's bad debt.
Okay.
You don't want that debt.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is why it's important to pay these credit cards, student loans, car note, things like that.
Okay. As soon as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible. Now, the step 3 with the 3 to 6 months of the expenses. So after you paid all your debt, now you should have plenty of money left over you. Now you're debt free.
That's true, because you got like the $1,000 already left over, you know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But the game doesn't stop.
Okay.
You still got to save that money. Just because you paid all your debt, now I can
go shopping and go travel.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Spending on all the stuff that I wasn't buying. I could catch up on some stuff.
That's what got you in this problem in the first place.
You're right. You're not trying to collect more debt.
Yep. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, you take that money now and you start saving it.
Okay.
Because now you want to save up that 6 months for your rainy day fund.
Okay, gotcha.
Because like we all know, when it comes to the rain, it's going to rain.
It's going to happen.
Guaranteed.
True. Yeah.
And you don't know when, but you know rain is coming.
Yeah. So every year.
That's a song, isn't it? Rain is coming.
It probably is. Maybe something old school. Okay. No, don't talk about Kurt Franklin. That ain't no Kurt Franklin. Don't be trying to talk about Kurt Franklin on rain. Okay. Anyway, it might be. Sorry, Kurt Franklin. Shout out to you. It is. But, okay.
Yeah.
Like that idea. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean.
So.
Yeah, you know, and this is what it is. It gives you that foundation. You'll start respecting money. And once you paid off all those debts, you got that extra money and you're saving, you'll look at everything a lot different. You know? So I'm not finna go spend all my money.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm stress-free now. And actually the power's in my hands now.
The power in your hands.
Yeah.
Because now you can do things and you can do them at a pace. You know, now when you want to go out of town, you know, you ain't scrambling trying to come up with your money. Oh, man, I got to try to save all this money in 2 checks.
Right, so that I can pay for this trip to go, you know,
so
oversee whatever, you know, to an island.
Not pay your rent to go to Jamaica.
Oh, my God.
You don't want to do that.
No, you sure don't.
Because you're going to end up in Jamaica. Yeah, you might as well move because you ain't have no place to go.
Right. No, that's true. It gives you options and freedom.
Gives you options.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the state of the economy. Let's go there.
Okay.
What's going on now with the world? Okay. Got a famous quote, don't you, about somebody, right?
I mean, I got
oh my God, you got all kinds of quotes.
I got all kinds of sayings.
I know.
You know. But my favorite one, especially, I'm going to do 2 quotes.
Okay.
Two sayings here. And both of these one is about Warren Buffett and the other one I think was.
And y'all know who Warren Buffett is, so.
But John Rockefeller.
Rockefeller.
You know Rockefeller.
Yeah.
So Warren Buffett he says, it's better to be 10 years too early than 1 second late. And that's a credo I live by when it comes to stuff like this, state of the economy, anything.
Say that one more time.
It's better to be 10 years too early than 1 second late.
Wow. That's powerful.
And we can all see that, what happened with the toilet paper last year.
Right. The toilet paper, y'all. Toilet paper. Oh, my God. Yeah. That is true.
You ran out of toilet paper and that pandemic hit, and then you went.
Oh, my God.
You going to the gas station to get toilet paper now.
You are.
From their bathroom.
Look, some of y'all was taking toilet paper from home from y'all jobs.
Yeah.
From y'all jobs.
Yeah, you going to the... I got to go to Quick Trip. You got to use the bathroom. See?
Taking a couple of rolls.
Taking their toilet paper.
That is true.
But these things happen. We have situations like that. And, the pandemic did that, but that was more of a supply issue. Because we were shut down. Now, but we could possibly lead up to a point in this economy where we actually get a shortage where you just can't afford toilet paper.
Oh, wow.
And that's worse.
So let's talk about that. How does that, is that, would that be related to the whole trendy inflation situation, or that's something totally different?
No, that's actually what that is.
Okay. Inflation. So let's talk about inflation. And, that's a trendy word we keep hearing about.
Okay.
A lot of people understand, but let's break that down.
Okay.
And then you can use the whole toilet running out.
Okay, I'll talk about the inflation. Yeah. So we first here, I'm going to give you the definition of inflation. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, this is what inflation is. Inflation is the decline of purchasing power of a given currency, in the U.S. dollar, over time. A quantitative estimate of the rate at which a decline in purchasing power occurs can be reflected in the increase of an average level of a basket of selected goods and services in an economy over some period of time. The rise in general levels of prices, often expressed as a percentage, means that a unit of currency effectively buys less than it did in periods.
Wow. Okay. So let's break that down a little bit more.
Okay.
Like,
so,
for my folks that are listening, they've got some kind of idea, but they're like, make it, as my folks say, make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Okay. So here's a quick
little history and some stuff.
Here we go. $1 ain't $1 no more.
Woo, just that simple.
Just that simple.
$1 isn't $1 anymore.
$1 isn't $1 anymore.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I can go a little bit more in detail about that, though. Okay. But here we go. Here's a perfect example right here for you, Summer.
Okay.
You love coffee.
Yes, I do. Everybody, shout out to my coffee drinkers.
Okay. Yeah,
much
everybody
love.
Loves coffee. Okay.
I'm looking for coffee sponsors. I got you.
Okay. Now.
But yes, love coffee.
What if I told you the plant, the beans, the process, pretty much the coffee, the physical coffee, is the same as it is today, as it was when it was first discovered in, I think, 1500 in Ethiopia. 600 years ago.
Seriously?
The same coffee you're drinking today, it's the same coffee somebody 600 years ago was drinking. Same cup. No different.
Wow.
Now, granted, sugars, the way you can get it now.
Oh, yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, for sure.
The physical coffee is the same.
The coffee itself. Wow. Okay.
Now, how much you think a cup of coffee cost? 1970. I ain't even going to go 500 years ago.
Oh, I'll
just go about
maybe 25 cents.
Yeah, okay. There you go. There you go. About 25 cents. Now, when you went to Starbucks, how much did you pay for a coffee?
Oh, well, wait a minute. Maybe I normally would get the grande. Maybe like $3 or more, $3 or $4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, granted, now you may be paying a little bit more because it's Starbucks.
Shout out Starbucks.
But their coffee ain't no different than the coffee that was brewed in the 70s, just like it was 500 years ago.
Wow.
So why are you paying $3 for a cup of coffee that cost somebody 25 cents in 1970?
God, good question. Very good question.
That is inflation. That is how it works. Just like that example said.
Okay.
Yeah. Your dollar does not buy the same things as it used to.
Wow. Okay.
In the 70s, what happened is that it was called the Great Inflation.
Okay, the Great Inflation.
The Great Inflation.
In the 1970s.
In the 70s, and it really peaked at the 1980s. So some of your listeners may know, but, if not, housewives, they would go to the grocery store. Mm-hmm. And, they would buy the usual milk, bread, eggs.
Cheese,
things like that. Mm-hmm. And they started to realize that milk was just going up every time they would go, man, why am I paying more and more each week for milk? Mm-hmm. And they complained to their local politicians who took it to the congressmen and things like that. Mm-hmm. And they discovered that they were actually in a economic recession at that time. And it was based upon inflation.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. It was that there wasn't enough goods for the amount of money that was circulating in the economy.
Wow. Say that again.
There was not enough goods for the amount of money that was circulating in the economy, which in turn boosted the prices of goods up astronomically.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
is that, you mentioned,
mm-hmm.
before we broke down inflation and went through the history of it and
mm-hmm.
the journey, you said you felt like at some point we're going to get to that again, right? Where the goods, we're going to run out.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Well, no, we're not going to run out.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Their prices are going to be high.
The price is going to be higher.
Mm-hmm. See, in this country, the United States doesn't necessarily have that problem.
Okay.
During those times, those things like that usually happen in socialist companies and countries and third world countries where they don't have the goods.
Okay.
People got to wait 4 or 5 hours
mm-hmm.
in grocery stores just to get a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they don't have it.
That's true.
The United States not going to have that problem.
Right. Okay.
You're just going to go get a loaf of bread and it's $10. It'll be a shelf full of bread.
Right, because it's $10.
Yeah, that's because it's $10.
It's $10.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like,
and these things are happening now. So as we speak, people, chicken prices are going up.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
yeah.
you all?
Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
Yeah.
It's
and people don't necessarily see these things until when? It's 1 second too late. Mm-hmm. When you go to buy your pack of chicken, and it's $30. Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah.
And that can literally, that wipes out. That makes a poor class of people even poor because now they can't even afford basic goods that they need to survive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it hurts the middle class as well.
Okay, break that down. Okay.
Yeah, well, because money that they would use on other things, they got to use it on their basic goods. It's a chain effect. It's an effect. It always affects the poor class first.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because now they can't afford those goods.
And it's just the basic.
Basic goods.
Basic goods.
Yeah. Milk, bread,
cheese, toilet paper.
Yeah.
Soap.
Yeah. The middle class, it affects them, but it affects them because now that extra money that they would spend on luxury goods, they have to now spend that on basic goods. And when that happens, that's bad for the economy.
Okay.
Because when nobody's spending stuff on purses and
bags and
stuff like that, the economy goes down.
Okay.
And it's been like that since the beginning of time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to go deeper in that one?
Well,
some examples, some time frames. You want to go deeper on with us at that?
Well, I'll stick more with the basic foods and goods, so people can really understand that. Okay. So, for example, and I don't even have to go back in time. I could just use the inflation that happened with just now. For example, the stimulus.
All right, let's talk.
Okay. Now,
stimulus.
A lot of people got stimulus checks.
Yes, they did. And went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Stimulus, PP, what was everything?
PP, all of that. Now.
10,000, 20,000, what's 8,000?
All that, yeah.
What's 800?
People was getting money.
Yes, they were getting money.
Scamming. But, but here's another saying that my grandfather taught me.
Okay.
There's nothing in life that's free.
That part.
And that really applies to money.
Okay.
There ain't no such thing as free money.
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That money that we receive, somebody's going to have to pay for that.
Okay.
Because you just can't print money
Okay.
Because what it does is that it inflates. See?
Mm-hmm.
If, let's use the coffee, for example.
Okay, let's do coffee.
Let's do the coffee. And this is simple supply and demand here. Okay? But this is a small glimpse of how inflation works. Let's say me and you go to the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm a happy coffee. You
go in first. The guys in there, Starbucks. Hey, man, I got the holy grail of coffee. This is the holy grail cup of coffee.
Okay.
You say, oh, yeah, I want that.
Yes.
How much you want for it? Nah, $1 million. $1 million.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Now, I come right in and I say, hey, well, I want it too. I want that $1 million holy grail cup of coffee. Well, so now we got a demand issue because there's only one cup of coffee, but two people want it.
Ooh.
Supply and demand. So what does that person do? Well, now it's going to the highest bidder. Who's going to pay more for it now?
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, that's simple supply and demand. Now, let's go the other way around.
Okay.
Let's say you go into Starbucks, and that's just you. Here's one barista. Here's another barista.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, ma'am, quick. I got a holy grail of cup of coffee here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other barista, well, nah, my cup is the holy grail of coffee. And I want you to buy it. Well, I could, yeah. Well, how do I know who's really got the holy grail?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want both cups of coffee.
No, only both.
So, who's got the cheaper cup?
Ah.
And that's how supply and demand works. Okay.
Okay.
Now, how inflation comes in at, it's called demand pull inflation.
One more time.
Demand pull inflation.
Okay. Demand pull inflation.
So, when there's too much money supply, too much people with money.
Okay. Which stimulus.
With the stimulus.
PPE and all that other stuff. Okay.
And not enough goods and services. That in turn makes the dollar weaker.
Okay.
Because now one cup of coffee, $1 ain't enough to buy one cup of coffee now. You know. Okay. Wow. It makes the dollar weaker.
Wow.
And that's what happens when we print money and things like that. And yeah, so like I say, yeah, those stimulus were good.
Right.
But it's not going to be free.
Wow. So over time?
Over time.
We'll be paying for that, basically.
We'll be paying for that. Guaranteed.
Wow.
So,
okay.
So now, there are ways to fight inflation. Okay? Yeah.
Let's get some of that.
There are ways to fight inflation because here's an example. Because one, how I broke down how it affects the poor and the middle class.
Yes.
I didn't say anything about the rich and the 1%.
No, you did not include the rich at all, and the wealthy.
Because when the inflation is high, they get extremely wealthy. And here's why. Okay. Because they have their money in assets, in physical assets that doesn't appreciate.
In physical. Okay.
Physical assets.
That doesn't appreciate.
That doesn't depreciate. During high inflation periods. So things like.
Yeah, let's give some examples of some assets.
So things like apartments.
So the real estate industry. So property.
Real estate, property. Yeah, any type of, anything that's tangible. Okay. Barrels of oil. Heck. Bags of coffee. Those are tangible things that you can touch. That's physical. This is why they stay rich, because they have that money in those things, and it keeps them from being affected by inflation and high inflations. Wow. So now, granted, I know everybody can't buy gold. Everybody can't buy oil, big barrels of coffee, right? Even properties. Yeah. But what the average person can do is buy your basic things that doesn't, spoil over time.
So, for example,
here you go, toilet paper. We can use that as an example. Okay. Now, let's say you go to your toilet paper, because toilet paper gets affected by inflation as well.
Right.
I mean, you know, as I remember, I think toilet paper now is $22.
Yeah, it is.
You go to Costco, you get a big one, that's $22.
Yeah.
4 years ago, it might have been $15.
That's true.
That's an inflation for the exact same toilet paper. Mm-hmm.
That is very true. Same plies and all that. Yeah.
So what you do is that you take your money and you want to stockpiling things that won't lose its value over time, and it can still be used. See, toilet paper won't lose its value because it still has usage.
Yes, that's true.
And it won't spoil.
That's true.
So that's why you can do those same things. Yeah, it's not an asset like gold and property, which those things have extreme value because of the scarcity of them. But it's still considered an asset. Toilet paper is. And you saw how much of an asset it was in 2020.
We were running around trying to find it everywhere.
People were fighting for it.
Yeah, they were fighting, actually. Yeah,
exactly. That's why you can take things like that, toilet paper, you know, heck, Lysol.
That was another one.
Yeah. You buy things like that, and you buy them, and you stockpile them, and you store them in your home where they won't get damaged by, you know, if you got leaks in your basement. Things that you can store and save over time. I mean, you can buy 10 boxes of toilet paper. They can last you a couple of years. And if you bought them at $22 and you think, okay, well, 3 years from now, toilet paper goes to $35.
Woo!
Well, if you bought them at $22, hey, you're okay.
Yeah. And
not only that, you ain't standing in line 4 or 5 hours or fighting people for a roll no more.
That's true. Wait a minute, though. On an entrepreneur thought, could you actually sell it to people that, you know, I mean, you want to give it away, but...
Yeah. You could actually sell it as well.
I mean, if need be, right?
If need be. But it's not even an issue and a problem, but the thing with it is that toilet paper is you're actually going to need it.
Yeah, you are. You are going to need
You're going to need that toilet paper.
Right.
And you may want see stuff like that.
You might want to hold on.
You want to keep for yourself.
Right.
And you may not want to tell nobody you got it.
No, that's true. That's true.
You know.
That's true.
So, those are things that you can do on a smaller level to fight inflation.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what we want. For folks that just, you know, realistically, your average person, family, may not be able to afford gold right now. You know, they're getting up to that place where they can get the gold and all of that. But right now, what can I do 2021, 2022, what is it, 2022, 2023, you know, to prepare just in case if it goes up from $22 to, you know, $30 even next year. Yeah. You know, what things can I do, like you said, to try to help fight off inflation where it doesn't affect your pockets as much?
Go home, look in your pantry, look, oh man, you know, let me get some toilet paper, paper towels, foods that won't spoil in
so some of your canned goods that last for a while.
Things that you can, you know, you can stockpile up. A little bit. You know, because like I say, you don't want to be that 1 second late and you at the Sam's Club or Costco standing in line.
That's true.
And the problem is that you're going to be standing in line, and then once you get in the door, the toilet paper's $50. Because it's going to be there. Yeah. But are you going to want to pay $50 for it?
That's true. Yeah.
See, for toilet paper.
Right. Gosh.
And these things happen. You know, people may not know. This is actually going on right now in Venezuela.
Oh, wow. Venezuela. Okay.
Venezuela right now. It takes about $10,000 American dollars to buy a roll of toilet paper in Venezuela.
Are you kidding me?
Right now.
$10,000 to buy some toilet paper? American dollars. Toilet paper.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm Chris. Venezuelan Bolivar. That's the name of it. Okay. Now, let me rephrase that. You take $1. Okay. That Venezuelan, 10,000 Venezuelan Bolivar dollars. Okay. That's about a stack, like a $10,000 stack that you would see in the United States.
Oh, okay.
But that only gets you one roll of toilet paper in Venezuela.
And you got like a family of 5.
You're better off just using that toilet paper. I mean, that money.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, those are things that is considered hyperinflation.
Okay.
Those when things get really, really bad.
Okay.
doesn't necessarily won't happen here in this country.
But
when you're down and you're scraping and you going check to check and you're trying to figure things out and you got a family of 5,
yes,
you know, and it comes down to, because this is how civilizations and countries collapse and they go through civil wars and things like this, because the average family's got to decide, are we going to eat dinner or we're going to have toilet paper? And when you get those situations, this is how you get civil unrest in a country. And this is why Venezuela's going what they're going through.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the 1910s and 20s, Germany, they were going through a hyperinflation period. People would go out, they would have all their money in wheelbarrows to go to the grocery store. They'll leave their money outside. People would steal their wheelbarrow, dump the money. Because it was worthless.
Wow.
And take the wheelbarrow.
Wow.
Those are things that hyperinflation. Like I say, we won't get that.
We won't get that. Okay. We
probably won't get that.
Okay. But
like I say, inflation during the 70s, inflation was at about 15%.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Right now we're at about
where are we at now?
Well, it says 7%.
Okay.
Now, I don't believe that.
Okay. Okay.
I believe we're probably higher than that.
Wow. Okay.
And I think they're saying it low because you don't want to cause panic.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
But in the 70s,
we're at 15.
80s, we were at 15.
Wow. Okay.
And like I said, now I was only born in 88, but I know how I've done my research and history. I know how it was in the 70s and the 80s. I remember when people talk about the gas in cars. That could happen. You know, gas went from 25 cents a gallon in the 70s, and then at 73, then $4 a barrel, a gallon. You know, we pay $3 now. It don't make it seem, but at that rate, if it goes now we're what? $12 a gallon for the gas.
Wow. Yeah. I can't imagine that.
In this day and age where you pretty much have to drive to get where you got to go.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah, you really do. Woo. Wow. Okay.
That's why inflation, I mean, you know, it's a scary thing, especially for the middle class and poor. But like I say, there are ways. In a capitalistic society, there are ways to protect yourself.
Okay. And right now, advice giving is start off with stocking up things
on things.
Yeah.
Get out of debt. Don't take on debt right now. Don't start bringing in debt. Keep your little money saved up, $1,000. Keep your little rainy day fund.
Right, your emergency fund, rainy day fund. Get your 3 to 6 months expenses set up and pay off that debt as fast as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
And then stock up on all the items that you know. Yeah, all the goods that are perishable and
Yeah. When you go to the grocery store and you go to Sam's and Costco, buy 2.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
2 or 3.
Yeah,
You know, if you say, oh well, this thing here, it'll last me a month. Buy 2 more, get you 3 months supply.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And like I say, and I could be wrong.
You could be wrong. You're sure. You know, you think you're right all the time, so I don't know.
Well, no, I don't never really think I'm right.
I know.
I just refer back to what Warren Buffett told me. Better to be 10 years too early than 1 second late.
That's good.
Because I won in Costco. We won in Costco waiting on toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Yeah. I wasn't either, actually. So.
Because you can see the signs coming. There's always signs. If you listen, there are always going to be some signs to tell you what's coming ahead.
Okay. Okay. So, speaking of that, couple of things before we close out. Okay. Just advice. So, you just said it. There's some signs out there. And I know most Americans are so busy with life and families and work and jobs and school and, organizations they're a part of, just everyday life. What are some of the signs? I mean, we hear in the paper, we hear in the news, like I said, inflation's been a big word, buzzwords that you keep hearing. Are those some of the signs? Like, what are some of the things that okay, I need somebody in this household, whether you got a household of 5 or 1, somebody needs to be paying attention to certain things. So what would be some things that people can listen to, whether that's podcast or, or certain articles or things like that, just information. What would you give? What advice would you say?
CNBC, you can always check out CNBC. I mean, just region local news. I mean, when they start talking about business and economy, economic issues and stuff, take a closer listen. Sometimes
don't turn it off, because a lot of times they're like, oh, that's boring. The game ain't on no more.
Yeah,
politics part is off.
They try to filter it out with with the entertainment, but you read between the lines, you'll understand some in that milk ain't clean. Right. It's
like I need to make sure I'm listening to that. I'm reading those articles when they pop up. Don't just ignore those ones that talk about the economy and what's going on with
And you really like the Venezuelan thing. See, people really need to understand that, because we don't necessarily, in this day and age, this isn't just a United States problem or a Venezuelan problem. The world is actually connected economically. It's a domino effect. I mean, these things are going to happen. It takes one. When one falls, they're all going to fall. Did you all remember when it happened with the barge in the Suez Canal? It turned sideways, blocked the whole Suez Canal. I mean, shipments and stuff. I mean, they were going through it right now with shipments are backlogged. Those things affect the world.
Yeah.
We don't get our goods here. There ain't no such thing as made in America no more. Wow. That's your first sign. Right there.
So that's sign number 1.
That's sign number 1.
Okay.
Go around your house and just start taking a tally and find out what says made in America. That'll let you know right then and there. Okay, everything in my house is not made here. It's made somewhere.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you go look in that country and then see what kind of problems they got going.
Wow. Because it's going to have an effect.
This is what is going to happen in effect. Yeah. I mean, for example, in China, most of everything's made in China.
There you go.
But what happened when they shut down during COVID?
Yeah.
The world shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can get anything. And these things happen all the time. And they happen just organically. You just never really know when they could happen. They just could, like COVID. It just popped up.
Yeah. Wow. But it's important to try to make sure that you're what was Warren Buffett's?
Be 10 years too early than 1 second late.
Yeah. Be prepared. You handle what parts that you can handle to make sure you and your family are secure. Wow.
Yeah. And then, one more quote, too.
Yeah.
That gets with the state of the economy. Now, this is my personal belief why I feel like we are coming at we've hit the peak of this economic cycle.
Okay.
And it's time to go down. So during the 1920s, during the Great Depression, the stock market went up. That was called the Roaring '20s. And then in '29, the market crashed. I think it was John D. Rockefeller, one of those billionaire big shots. He was getting his shoes shine. Shoe shine boy gave him a stock tip. And we're talking about one of the richest men in the world. The shoe shine boy gave him a stock tip. He knew, okay, it's time to get out.
Wow.
When shoe shine boy start giving you stock advice, we're at the top.
Wow.
And that's where we are now. Now, I'm not saying I'm a economic genius and everything, but I have been doing this since 2011.
He has.
So when I go online and I see Bitcoin expert, things like that, and the person is, how long you been in the game? 6 months. Are you an expert? Sounds like shoe shine boys to me. Wow. Sound like it's time to go.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I'm out the market right now. I believe we're going to go through a collapse in the market. And I think it's going to pretty much be one of the worst ones because of the way the world is built. It's entwined together now. Everything is together. It's going to affect everybody in the world. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And like I said, I could be wrong.
But
rather be 10 years too early than 1 second late.
1 second late.
1 second late. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's the thing with stock markets. You only got to be right one time.
That's true. Yeah.
And all you got to do is be wrong one time.
That too. Yeah. Wow.
Man, that's the way wealth is. Wealth is neither created nor destroyed. Simply transferred from one person to the next. It's just like energy.
That's true.
And that's how wealth is.
Wow.
People don't create wealth. People just get it transferred.
From
one person to the next. People say, oh yeah, I'm creating wealth. No, you're actually, somebody is losing theirs. And now you've taken it. And that's how wealth is.
Wow.
So yeah, you know, just like I said, those small things.
Small things right now that we can all do.
Because like I said, I'm pretty much debt free.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Debt free. I mean, I paid my college, paid that off. I worked in college. So
yeah.
Debt free. Got my savings. Yeah. I'm just sitting here waiting.
Wow.
Stockpiled up.
Yeah.
You know, decent amount.
Right. Yeah. Wow. So.
But I don't have a family of 5 neither.
No, you don't.
You know.
Right. But you would be prepared and ready for a family of 5 if need be.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So. Man, well, this was awesome and powerful. Thank you for all the nuggets of wisdom and advice. A lot of the history and understanding and definitions of some of the stuff, you know, in the financial area that many of us have heard, know a little bit about, but not a whole lot.
Right.
So appreciate that. So in closing, I got your personal advice. So I've got 3 different set of individuals that I'm looking at. Okay. You know, with everything that you just shared, where you see the economy going, all of those good things, all those things that you mentioned. So if I'm a college student, well, let's say I just graduated from college, you know, and I'm looking, to start my life, my career. I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for my own place. I need an updated car. You know, so many of those major decisions that you make, when either A, you're coming out of high school and you're starting your life, or B, you're coming out of college and you're trying to, start your life. What would be your advice that you would give to that college graduate, to kind of help them in the area of finances, debt, all that stuff. The do's, and you can even do the do's and the don'ts, however, what's your advice?
So I'll break it down in 3 stages. Okay. So you got a starting age, a working age, and a retirement age.
Okay.
So your starting age, those can be your people, from anywhere from 18 to 34. Some people start later in life.
Yes, they do.
Stuff like that. I put about the age of 35 is where you pretty much should have everything your foundation set, your job, career. You know what you want to do in life. So I'll put 18 to 34. Okay. You want to learn trades. College is too expensive.
Wow. Okay.
It's too expensive for some of the fields that people go into. Like, for example, me. Economics. It ain't worth the price of the college that I paid. If I could go back, I would have went into STEM. Science, technology, engineering. And math.
Okay, the STEMs. Okay, yeah.
The STEM. If you want to go to college, that's where you want to be. One of those 4. Language, art, or humanities, sociology. Hey, you don't want to do that. I know, but you do not want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for a communications degree. I know, Summer.
So we're gonna agree to disagree.
We're gonna agree to disagree.
But this is my brother, so and everybody's definitely entitled to their
Everybody's
opinion.
entitled to their opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's too expensive.
Right. Okay.
And it comes back to inflation. I mean, think about 50 years ago when college was $3,000 a year. Yeah. Go get your communications degree.
I got you.
But pay $30,000 a year for it?
I got you.
I don't know.
So what about the folks that have already went? So I didn't pay. I didn't did everything.
Okay.
I might have got full scholar. I might have got a full ride and not had to pay for anything, or a little bit of something. Maybe just room and board.
Okay.
People still get full rides and scholarships. So
okay. Yeah.
I've graduated with either debt or no debt.
Okay. So let me finish with the that's starting. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Get a degree in STEM. Now this is my advice.
No, it's
one of my 18-year-old cousins. This is what I'm telling.
I got you. STEM is it is good. It is wonderful to be, especially for African Americans. We definitely. I mean, not than anybody else, but
work as much as you can. Work as often as you can, which is what I try to do now. I'm 33. I try to work as many hours as I can.
Yeah.
I worked 2 jobs last year. I try to use it when your body can handle it. When you can physically handle it, you need to be doing it.
Okay.
Because eventually you're not going to be able to do it.
Okay.
And that's when you don't want to be doing it.
Okay. So work as much.
Work as much.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep your credit clear. Don't take on too much debt. Don't buy a new car. Unless you can just really afford it. Get you a used one. Okay. Now if you got a high paying job and you can afford it, then okay, be my guest. But a 22-year-old, unless you're in the NBA, you don't need a Mercedes or a BMW.
You can wait.
And at 22, you may not really even need a car with the way this is going, because we're getting to a point where now cars are even obsolete. Owning a car. Uber, Lyft.
Yeah, that's true. Especially depending on where you live, what state you're in, city you're in.
Yeah. Now, it's so funny because we talk so much about inflation. Those are actually deflationary things. But we'll do that for
Okay, we'll come back and do that another time.
We'll talk about that too, because I can go hours on that too as well. But yeah, work as many hours as you can. Now, the working age, that 35 to 62.
Yeah, let's talk my generation. So Generation X. That was the other thing. I wanted to talk about Generation X.
That later half.
Millennials, all of that.
Yeah, the earlier half of millennials.
Yeah, we're in the midst of our careers, or we're changing careers because we realize we're not passionate about what we're doing. Many people have families, whether it's family of 1, 5, 10, whatever, homes, mortgages, maybe not, renting, new cars, all of that, tuition for school, for kids, whether, again, daycare, college, private school, for them, what would be the personal advice? And then the next category are the people that are looking to retire.
Yeah.
So some of those baby boomers, or some of those folks that are traditionalists that have not retired yet. What things for them? So those are the other 2 categories.
Okay. So in those two categories, I'll put it out as if you got a planning and a preparing.
Okay. Planning and preparing. So P&P, planning and preparing.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, for Christmas dinner, my mom, she will plan out the meal before she will prepare it. Okay. So she, so in that age of 35 to 62, you need to be planning your retirement.
Okay, that's
this
good.
This is when you're planning to get out of because eventually you're going to exit the workforce.
Yes, you are.
So you got to start planning for that, and you want to start as early as possible.
Okay.
One thing for sure. Now, this is my opinion.
He has a different opinion.
Yeah. Don't buy a home. In this day and age, you don't want to buy a home because of the debt. I mean, and the prices. I mean, the prices are too astronomical for homes now. Okay. A single. And I'm saying this, but the statistics show that people actually do agree with what I'm saying. Because people aren't buying homes like that. Okay. Because we are now at a point of. And like I said, this can be another topic. This is a deflationary thing. Okay. This is why Airbnb is so popular now. The millennials, younger generations, and people, we don't want to be tied down to anything. That's true. And when you have a home, you've put roots in the ground, and you're pretty much stuck there. And you don't want to buy a home when you're trying to plan to never not work again. Everybody wants to travel and see the world. You can't really do it when you're sitting in St. Louis and you own a home. Because you got roots in the ground. And you can't really go. That's one of the things. But you want to save as much as you can. and invest as much as you can.
Okay.
You know?
Yes, I'm like, for those that have already bought homes.
Yeah. Now, for a person that's already
got homes,
you need to pay that home off as
that.
soon as you can.
Okay.
As soon as you can. Pay it off. Because technically, you don't own that home. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at it, for example, the average person takes a 30-year mortgage out. Right? Small, quick math. At 6%. Well, 30 times 6, 6% interest. You're just paying interest. Mm-hmm. That's 180%. So in order for you to break even, your house needs to go up 180% of its value in order for you to break even.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, sounds doom and gloom, but another one of my phrases up, men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie.
Oh my God.
And that's the number.
That is one of his other phrases, yes.
I don't want to pay 180% for something for 30 years. Just don't want to do it.
Okay.
just can't.
Okay. So pay it off. For those that already have homes,
people that's,
or condos or whatever.
Yeah, pay it off. Pay it off
as fast as you can.
Pay it off as fast as you can because one, you're not making income on it.
Okay.
You're paying for shelter, but you're paying interest to do it, to live. And I know people like to, about the rent and things like that.
Yeah. I know it's just different, philosophies behind that.
It's different philosophies.
Yeah.
And I rent. I don't pay interest to live. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. I got you.
So pay that home off as soon as you can.
Okay.
All right. And as fast as you can.
Okay. All right.
Now, the retirement age.
Yeah.
I mean, now you're
the last group.
It's the last group. You're preparing. It's kind of hard. Okay. Because, like I say, some of the market conditions. Yeah. I mean, if you got 401ks and you got retirements, you may want to speak with your advisors as much as often. Okay. You really want to be making sure they're on top and you want to know, because you don't want to get to that finish line and they tell you, hey, well, you actually got to work another 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So
that'd be pretty sad, pretty depressing. Okay.
As a rule of thumb, what I've done for myself as I've been planning my life out and preparing, because I like to do that, what I did is said, okay, well, most of the time people retire at 65. So if you're at 65, if I live to be 90 years old, that's 25 years from 65 to 90. Okay? You take your yearly expenses and you times it by 20 or 25. If you got that number saved up, then you can retire.
Just that simple.
Just that simple. It's a rule of thumb.
Yeah, rule of thumb.
Like on a piece of paper. Yep. Yeah. If you got that saved up, then you're good to go.
And anything extra is definitely a bonus.
Yeah. Write out your actual costs. Write out your forecasting, because you may want to get you a new car or things like that or whatever. Yeah. Get your estimate. Well, can I take this money and live the rest of 20 or 30 or however many years you think you may live out? You may need that money. If you got that in your account, hey, go ahead.
Retire.
Go ahead and retire. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you don't, hey, now you know what number you need. You at least need a rule of thumb.
Okay. All right. Good. Wow. So, Mr. Robinson, thank you so much. We appreciate you here at KPP Transformational Life Podcast. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for answering the call. Thank you for everything that you shared with our audience members. Definitely good nuggets of wisdom and knowledge, that people be able to apply to their everyday lives, no matter where they find themselves as far as their socioeconomic status. So definitely appreciate you. So, in closing, don't forget to breathe. And as you breathe, know that you are God's greatest creation. Now go out and fulfill your purpose unapologetically, because someone is waiting on you. I hope that you experience God's love, joy, and peace. Be kind to yourself and others, and always remember to take care of each other's hearts and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Peace, love, enjoy, my friends. I'll see you in 2 weeks. KPP Transformational Life.
Have a good one.